Thursday night, Denver was without Jokic and Murray. Luka Doncic took advantage. He scored 21 in the first quarter for his highest scoring quarter of the season. LA has now won 9 straight home games and are back up to 3rd in the West. Tim Legler thinks chasing home court advantage is worth the effort. Tim.
For me personally, I would always value having home court over who the hell we have to play. If you're a 2 or 3 and you're worried about a 6 or a 7, I think psychologically you're screwed, in my opinion. You're screwed already if you're worried about – this team is a 6 or 7 seed for a reason.
My girl's here. Thank the good Lord. Hey,
What up,
Monica.
Molly?
All right. What's more important
What's that supposed to mean? What's that supposed to thank the good Lord? What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, I was just giving praise to Monica.
Girls here. What's up, Eminem? How you doing?
Hey, S.A.
You know, I mean, I'm just saying, what's that? Molly's sitting up there saying, what's thank the good Lord? What's that supposed to be?
I don't know why he's getting so sensitive. I'm just happy to have a moment. I'm just happy to see Monica. Don't get in your feelings about it. You're okay. You're good.
All right. You just said thank the good Lord. That's a little something different. The context something different. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, not when you're me.
Praise Jesus, man.
Oh my gosh, more important for the Lakers. Can I live? Like, can I breathe?
Yes.
Seriously, I'm just looking at you.
Okay, come on.
What's more important for this Lakers team here? Is it their seeding or their matchup in the playoffs?
I think it's going to be matchup, personally. And look, Legs is one of our great basketball analysts. I get the idea behind that statement. But this particular year, no, I disagree. Because we have all said, outside of the Thunder, what do you expect? Like, what are you confident in coming out of the Western Conference? And so, yes, if you're a 2 seed, you're supposed to be going in, locked in on the task at hand. However, this year, when 6 or 7 could be the Warriors, the Lakers, the Timberwolves even, like, who knows how that's going to play out? And so I think this year, or the Clippers is who I meant to say, this year I think it's unique. Now, I don't think anybody should fear an opponent because it is obviously there's a psychological element to competition. But I think in the context of this season, if we saw somebody take down the 2 seed with one of those lower seeds, I would not be surprised.
I hear you on the matchup talk, and I think that all makes sense.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring you back to a little athlete thing that we used to say to each other all the time. All you can do is control the controllables, right? Remember how we used to say that all the time?
Yep.
And what's uncontrollable right now is the way all these seeding things are going to play out over the next 14 games. I don't know.
Yep.
But I do know if I'm the Lakers, I'm chasing that 2 seed. I am avoiding OKC at all costs until we get to the Western Conference Finals. I'm also, depending upon where Denver is, I'm trying to avoid them too. So by securing a 2 seed, getting that home court, I think it's just not home court, it's the 2 seed in home court. To me, I think that gives me the best shot of getting to the NBA Finals. Because I'm not trying to play OKC. And actually, even though I know they beat Denver when the Joker and Jamal Murray were playing, I would try to stay away from that. I would rather have those 2 teams play and we meet the winner of that in the Western Conference Finals.
Got it. Okay.
That's how I would go about it.
All right, so I guess when I answered this question, I assumed they would just play it out. So the matchup is more interesting to me. But I agree with you. Like, you play.
Get to the 2.
Stephen A.
Here's the deal, y'all. When we think about seedings, ultimately everything comes down to matchup, right? You're a 2 seed, you go against the 7.
Right.
You're 1, you go up against the 8, et cetera, et cetera. So to me, it's one and the same, the seedings, right? What it really comes down to when you're thinking about matchups, first order of business, can you beat a team? If you're the Lakers, not this season, but if you're the Lakers over the previous 2 years or so, the Denver Nuggets are your kryptonite. You should have avoided them last year in the first round. You didn't do that, okay? Knowing that you were ill-equipped to beat them, you should have figured out a way to avoid that particular matchup until you absolutely positively had to. Dallas did it, essentially, until then they ended up getting Minnesota. They thought they were going to have to face Denver, but Minnesota took out Denver in Game 7. All right, so Dallas knew what they was doing when they played that game last year. But here's the thing. If you know that you got a good enough team to win a championship, it really comes down to, could you win a Game 7 on the road? You're asking yourself that question when you're vying for home court advantage, which is what Legs was alluding to and what have you. Could you beat a team on a game set in a Game 7 on the road? If you're the Los Angeles Lakers, Oklahoma City is going to be a nightmare no matter what. But especially if you got to go to a game 7 against them. If they're the number 1 seed, it is what it is. Anybody else, who do you think is going to be tough in a potential game 7? If you're the Los Angeles Lakers, you don't have to worry about that until the conference finals if you're the number 2 seed. If you're Houston or anybody else, you got to think about those things. I'm just saying we have to crystallize what the real question is for the audience out there when you talk about seedings and matchups, okay? Certainly you're thinking about the matchups. But as a part of that matchup situation that you're looking at, you're asking yourself, in a game 7, if I had to go on the road, who do I have a better chance against? That's how really it goes, seriously. And then to me, if you're the Los Angeles Lakers this particular year, there's no one outside of Oklahoma that you should feel concerned about. If LeBron and Doncic is healthy in the lineup together with a Rui Hachimura back and you're fully loaded, I think the only team the Lakers have to worry about is OKC.
I would agree with you, but don't you think it makes sense if you're talking about probability to you rather have that just against OKC, right? Like if I don't have to, I'm not trying to face anybody in a potential game 7 at their place. I'd much rather face them game 7 in my place.
Of course.
Right. Fair, of course.
So
That's a
I
given.
guess the second layer to the question essay then is now we're talking strategy. Because I personally am not one to tinker with losses and all that, because you got, like you said, Jay, to start the conversation, control the controllable. That's win the games that are in front of you and put yourself in the best position possible. But I think we all agree in terms of it coming down to if you can get the 2 seed, get the 2 seed.
Yeah, of course. If you can get the 2 seed, get the 2 seed. But as you're battling for it, when we bring up the word concern emanates from you potentially being on the road for game 7. Who is that going to be against?
All right. Meanwhile, tonight they host the Bucks, the LA Lakers.
Good old Bucks, they're not going so well.
No, not at all. They need Portis back badly.
Get into that a little bit later as well. Transitioning to a much more serious topic right now, a story about Jackie Robinson's military service has been restored by the Department of Defense website after being deleted as part of President Trump's digital content refresh, which includes purging references to diversity, equity, and inclusion, also known as DEI. When asked why the story was removed, the Department of Defense first defended the move, saying, quote, DEI is dead. In a second statement, the DoD acknowledged that in, quote, rare cases, some material may have been removed due to the search terms used in the process. Shortly after that, the story was back on the website. Stephen A., I present this to you. Do you think this was an honest mistake?
No, I don't. I don't think it was an honest mistake at all. A matter of fact, I think that there's a few things, not many, not all, but there's a few things this present administration is not being honest about, and we have to call it like we see it. You know, there's this effort, this concerted effort to eradicate